Welcome, everybody, to our RealBird Hanson workshop. We're glad to have you here this fine Friday morning, wherever you might be joining us across the fruited plain. It's exciting to be with you again. We get together a couple times a month to share with you tips, tricks, tools to help you be successful in real estate, whether you're working as a buyer's agent or seller's agent. Our topic here this morning is going to be around how do you attract sellers and how do you basically convince sellers using your RealBird tools just to list with you or build some confidence in them so that they'll want to hire you to get their home sold and get it on the market and get it sold. I'm not alone here today. I'm joined by one of the owners and developers of RealBird, Gabe Gross. He's here this morning with a bit of a cold. Good morning, Gabe. Sorry for the cold. I hope I didn't give it to you.
Good morning. Good morning, everybody. So I won't say very much because I probably sound funny, but if you have any questions, type them please into the chat box, and my cold does not affect my typing, and I will respond to those questions.
Awesome. Yeah, we have a chat option available. We apologize. There's no way to have you guys join in audibly with the webinar here today, but we still want to hear from you through the chat box, message box, and we will respond and answer any questions. Gosh, we're already, can you believe it? We're about halfway into 2018. For a lot of people, it's been kind of a mixed bag of, I work with agents on a daily basis, whether helping them with their marketing and their systems and such. And some have done well. Some of it's been a little bit harder. It's been a harder play to be able to get listings. It's a tight market in most places across the country. Varies in different areas, but listings are short. People are holding on to their homes a little bit. Price values are going up. That's the good thing. But then some people are concerned that, hey, if I sell my house, will I find another one at a reasonable price to move into? That's been kind of what I've heard, through the grapevine and through, what's happened. Obviously, we're in all different markets. RealBird's, even Canada and we have people internationally that use RealBird, but U.S., a lot of the areas I work in, it's been tough to get sellers to make a move. So I want to talk about a few of the tools and mindset that you need to have and use so that we can attract sellers and convince them that you're the agent that's going to get them the most amount of money for their home, and that you have the systems in place to market their home properly. In all that I've been doing, for 20 years in coaching real estate agents and marketing themselves, it's been interesting to hear how agents sometimes don't understand that. Well, first of all, you want to be a seller's agent. Maybe you've made that decision already. I work with agents. I work with them. Everybody starts out as a buyer's agent, but you want to be a listing agent because that's where the gold is. If you can get the listing, buyers are going to come. That's going to happen. And I think all agents work through that. Say, hey, I want to be a seller's agent. But how do you get there? How do you get there? And obviously, if you have the listing, you have the golden key to the transaction. Buyers are coming to you. But there's a lot of responsibility in being a listing agent to really, you need to be aggressive, and you need to have systems in place so that you can report back to the seller, hey, here's what's going on, here's what's happening, here's what the market's telling us, that maybe we first out of the gate, we advertise to the world, you're listing your home at this price, and we're testing the market, and the market's telling us that we're a little too high, that we probably need to be more in this range. These are some of the conversations you have to have, and they're not easy ones. You're handing these sellers are handing their life over to you, and we're exposing them to the world, and it can be a scary situation. So a seller's got to be like a seller's agent has to be like a therapist. You have to calm them. You have to support them, and you have to be there for them. And so it's as a seller, they're putting their life in your hands. So the idea is the more systems you can have, the more trust you can bring, and the better it's going to be. And of course, the faster you sell the house. Of course, pricing it right out the gate is important. That's a lot of times easier said than done. I hear agents all the time that said, "Yeah, we're getting this listing on the market. I really wanted to sell it at 280, but the seller wants to sell it like 295." And that's a hard negotiating to do to get to that point and be able to, that we want to reach those three goals: sell that home in the fastest time possible with the least amount of trouble to the family or individuals living there, and we want to do it for the highest price the market will bear. So anyway, just sharing a few thoughts in working with buyers. Let me just share a bit. RealBird is a tool that's kind of made of two halves. So I call it two halves of the toolbox, so to speak: listing publisher, property search. The listing publisher is probably the one we use the most of, and that gives you the ability to create these single property websites. You don't have to rely on the MLS to get your listing, seen and sold. You don't have to do that. You're able to. You can go ahead and load and launch, broker load your listing into the MLS, and attract buyers that way. Knowing that the MLS is going to scrape your branding information off that listing as it goes and syndicates it through the network. And I know some agents still, even though we've been doing, I think, 10 years, almost 10 years now, of broker reciprocity, meaning that's what they do. They take your listing, they scrape your information off, and they make it possible so other agents or brokers can be, connected with that listing so that they can attract the buyer to bring the buyer to you. And some agents are still, I still hear that, hey, how come I saw my listing on this other person's website? And that's what happens. The great thing about RealBird is what's unique is it gives you the opportunity to keep that listing, to be able to share it, enhance it, share it, syndicate it, and with your contact information on it. And that, of course, increases the opportunity or chances that you're going to be able to attract the buyer yourself for that listing. Now, some agents don't do dual agency, but you can still attract a lead for your listing that you have. And maybe I know I have an agent in State College, and Susan says what she does is she refers the buyer's agent. She refers the other side. If a lead comes in on her listing, she has other people in her office that can be, that can represent the buyer side on that. So there's lots of ways around that. But the idea is you want to be able to take your inventory and maximize the opportunities for leads. A lot of times you put your listing MLS in a way you kind of lose control of it. And with a listing publisher, you're in full control. And you have your own syndication network that you can brag about, because that's when it comes down to a seller. They want someone that they can trust. They want someone that's going to that has systems in place. They want someone that's going to report back to them. They want someone that's going to help them, price it to get it sold, so they're not, out 120, 160, 180 days and the home's not sold yet. So those are the things that sellers want. I want to talk about some of these tools that are available to you using RealBird to help you do that. Okay. All right. And I'm also going to give you a bit of a checklist to work on so that you can work on optimizing your systems. I know we're already halfway through the year, and I hear agents still saying, hey, I've got to get my systems in place. It's never too late to do that, and you don't have to do it the first of the year. But I'm saying put systems in place. That gives you confidence when you go out and slay the dragon, generate the lead. That confidence you need to go to be a seller's agent. A buyer's agent. You can be confident in your ability to advocate for your buyers when they find a home and go negotiate on their behalf and help them find what they need. That's one thing, and that's not. There's also a level of trust there. But when it comes to seller, they're putting a lot. Like I said, they're putting a lot in your hands, and we want to give you those tools to help you do that. Okay, so let's go on here. What I think it helps anytime you're marketing, and that's what we as realtors are, we're marketers. To get in the head of your potential client. What do they need? What are they looking for? So These might be some of the, okay, they need a local real estate expert. In talking with an agent yesterday, they specify or they specialize in a certain 55 plus lifestyle community in Southern California. And one of the questions they ask when they're interviewed in this neighborhood is, have you sold in this neighborhood before? Of course, that's a great question to be able to answer. If you have information to back it up, you can squelch that, or you can answer that question very, very quickly. By the way, one of the steps on our checklist I'm going to leave with you today, later on, is get into your RealBird account. Okay, get all your listings in there. I mean, all the homes that you've represented, get them into your RealBird. Now, you might be new to RealBird, but you're not new to real estate. You can. I think it's having a success portfolio to show people, hey, I've already had successful transactions in your neighborhood or at your price range or in your type of home. That's hard to show that. I mean, you can hand them a readout of all the pictures. You can see show them all the homes you've done. But here's a really powerful way to do this. It only takes about I'd say about 5 to 10 minutes a listing. And then I'm talking about listings you've already represented and been successful with. So, but maybe you don't need to sell that listing because you already sold it before. Well, you can enter it into listing marketing inside your RealBird account. And then what you will go is, I know it says add for sale listing here, but you'll click that even though you've already sold the home, for example. And here, have at least one picture, upload a picture here, and put the address. Don't have to put the MLS, don't have to put the list price. I do beds, bath, interior size, lot size if you have it year built, maybe a listing title and a small description, and nothing like, hey, come and see us Tuesday, come and see us Saturday at the open house. Don't want to say that because it's not a live listing. But once you're done, what you're going to do is save its draft. And then what I want you to do is go back in and add just one more image in the what's called the photo gallery. So you can do that. Let me see here, show you here. Manage photos. Here we go. So I'm in this listing here. Upload at least one image, but make sure when you're working on, once you've had at least one image there and one image as the kind of featured image there, make sure you mark it as sold, rented. And then when you're done putting all the information, there's not a lot. You don't have to put a lot. It's a sold listing. Then what you want to do is click publish. And what that will show is that will show as a sold listing. And what that does is that communicates, you now have a presentation, and I'll show you this here right now, but I'll show you on a website. We had Susan Rupert in State College. She did this, and I'll show you how she uses that. Okay, so I can just click sold and search, and you'll see that she's got lots of solds in there. She's probably been loading her listings. She's got 87 in there, but you can go back as far as you want. You're not selling the home again. You're basically showing the world, or whoever you're going to present this to, your ability to be able to get homes sold. And once you do that, once you get those solds in there, you'll be able to come to. I'm going to show you where this is. So I'm navigating right to where it is. Okay, so here we go. Inventory widgets. Here we go. Inventory widgets. Okay, and then I'm going to go. There's a couple ways to do it. This would be called the listing board. And I don't mean to be too technical, but there's a couple tools inside listing marketing, and under inventory widgets, there's a listing board. Here, what I'm just going to do is I'm going to mark sold, okay? And I'm going to just mark a couple checks here. Here, I don't need a listing. Let's show large blocks, Pinterest style. Yeah, that looks good. Preview that code. So what this is giving me is code that I can embed in the website. So these are homes she sold, and it's interesting that it shows how many times they're viewed. All that, that's something I think I can turn off. Yeah, show off view counter. I can turn that off, and I don't need to share it. But let me go ahead and preview that code again. There we go. It's simple. So what this shows is basically each one of these medallions or widgets here is linked to a single property website that Susan's created in RealBird. And it's real clear, this is sold. We're not trying to sell this home again, but we want to show people, hey, look what we've been able to do. Okay? And then what you'll do is you'll gather this code. You can turn it all blue, Control A, or right click and select all. And then you grab that code, okay? And then what you can do is you're going to put that on your website. On a website, and then of course you can print your website out. This makes a great flyer to hold out. Hey, here's all the things, here's all the places we've been successful in helping these sellers to a close. And to me, that exudes confidence. Now you see that she has a variety of price ranges, so it could appeal to anybody that she would basically present to. You can see beautiful homes. Also, photography looks great. The homes show really well. By the way, this is one way to show your success. If I go back to here and I click on listing map, okay, and I select sold, and I can see preview and code, get that code that I would then embed in a page on your website or a post maybe you want to share. Okay, so this is State College, PA. And that's obviously, you can see that's Susan's strength. She is in her website, statecollegeparealestate.com. But you can see if you have a home to sell in the State College area, she's already done it, and she's done it many times and successfully. And by the way, that's something to share. Okay, on her website, I put that as well. So I basically embedded the code here in this area to show the map. And of course, if anybody clicks on any of those icons, they click on them, they're going to actually pull up that single property website. Okay. Or they can view them down here. Some people will click in here. Some people will click in here. This is why I kind of showed it in two different ways. Basically, these are homes I've represented and were sold in State College, PA area. You need that. If you don't have that in your listing presentation, you need that. Now, if you have to play a little catch up, budget, 5-10 minutes for each one to load. And to RealBird, and like I say, you might be new to RealBird, but you're not new to real estate. Well, that's okay. Go in there in your account under listing marketing. It's right there, listing marketing, and go ahead and start adding those listings. And if you have a lot, if you have a lot, do 10 a week or whatever. But the idea is you're going to build up that. Now, not necessarily for sellers' purposes, but for buyers' purposes, you could go ahead if you have your own image and upload a sold listing as the home that you represented someone there as a buyer, but there's no really distinction on this side whether you represented them a buyer or a seller. You're not selling the home, again, basically showing just what success you've had. So take advantage of that tool. If you don't want to put on your website, that's fine. I think it makes a great, all my clients now are marketing themselves, less and less in Google and reaching out to people that they don't know to put their services in front of people they don't know, what I call marketing to your haven't-mets. And they're placing ads inside Facebook, that'll show up based on people's interest when they're in their area, to recognize that they're in that neighborhood that you want to be a listing agent to. When you place an ad in Facebook, that's a great one to be able to show. Visual is very important to the ads that you might place. In fact, you place an ad in Facebook, you create a custom audience, and if that ad that you show, whether you're advertising a listing or a listing landing page or your ability to be able to sell homes, if you have an image in your ad and has too much writing or text on it, Facebook will reject it because they know that people are basically visual people, and they want to see on Facebook, they want to see visual things. They don't want to see a lot of text. That they'll kick you right out. So maybe something that might be a good maybe I take a snippet of this, and say, hey, you need your home, you need to sell your home in the State College area. We've been busy here. We've helped a lot of folks just like you that needed to sell their home, and maybe you do a screenshot of this or something like that. Maybe that showing them what you do. Let's see if I can grab a screenshot while I'm there. So the idea is you got to convince people that you have the tools and you can be trusted to accomplish getting their home sold. Maybe do something like this. You capture it, and then you can put text on top of it. Need to sell your home. I'm just kind of drawing something. Need to sell your State College home. I'm just kind of throwing this up, not dolling up too much. College home. We've been busy, and we can help you. By the way, this is a cool tool called Snagit. It's not that expensive, but it's great. You do a screenshot and you can do all kinds of things real quick. I mean, I might bold that up or something like that. You know, take that and make it a little more bold. And anyway, I'm just kind of messing around here a little bit here. But by the way, these are the kind of ads that are visual, that communicate a message really quick to people and to attract them. So that's an idea that you might consider. Okay. All right, so definitely take the chance to build up your inventory of solds inside your RealBird so that you use it for a lot of different ways. So we'll talk more about that. Okay, I know agents have asked, you know, what do sellers want? You know, we talked a little bit about that already. They need a local expert. The process for how long do you think people that are considering selling, how long is it in their brain that, hey, I need to sell, let's start thinking about selling? The average is 6 months to a year, can be sometimes even longer. That you know, obviously if you get a job change, you know, someone is looking faster, that time window is compressed. But there's a lot of things that people consider when they need to sell. You know, what's my home worth? That's one of the biggest ones. You know, what's my home worth? What am I going to get out of those proceeds from the sale of this home? You know, and to buy my next home, where I'm going to move next. And so, so what is your home value is a big one. I know everybody has, you know, value pages out there, and hey, put your address in the box and find out what your home is worth. There's some good tools out there that'll do it. I heard that RealBird might be coming up with their own tool that you can use as a RealBird member. I've heard a little bit about that. That might be coming in the future. But so what is my home value? What do I need to get ready to sell? These are, if you got to get inside their head, and even though they might be thinking, you know, 6-12 months out, you need to get inside their head and think about, how can I meet the needs of their concerns, fears, frustrations. You know, definitely, what's my home value? Gosh, how fast is my home going to sell? Like I said, what will I have left to move forward with? Is my home marketable? Should I make that improvement in my home to make it, you know, more interesting to sell, more valuable in the marketplace? What did my neighbor's house just sell for? That's a nice thing to be able to offer people. Hey, you want the information that real estate agents have? You know, what did your neighbor's house sell for? These are maybe ideas for blog posts, articles, flyers, ads. You know, by the way, I use a great source for most of my clients called Keeping Current Matters. Basically, this is a service that generates articles, consumer-facing articles, to help them show you as a professional. I went and searched their database for just some ideas of some of the things that articles that you can you know, reference, and in some ways they let you share these. Obviously they want you to sign up for their monthly distribution of these articles. What I do with my clients is I take these articles and I syndicate them into their website, and then their website spits them out branded by them to all the different places. But here's just some examples, some great articles that you can reference and use. They don't say you can't use the articles. They'd love for you to sign up for their subscription at $25 a month to be able to get these specifically branded to you, but they don't say that you can't use these articles. But look at these topics in here. These are some great ideas on selling. Thinking of selling? You should do it today. I mean, obviously they're pro real estate agent, why you should hire a real estate pro, why you shouldn't FSBO, why you shouldn't do this yourself. But they do a really good job of informing. They do a good job of kind of giving information that you could share to convince people to go with you. They do a lot of infographics and things like this. And by the way, people like to consume information this way, with graphics and infographics and such. Gosh, you can see it's been shared like tons. They also do, when you're a member of them, and you can even become a member for 14 days and use it for free. I make no commission in recommending these guys to you, but you can start a free trial, put your credit card in, they won't charge you for 14 days, and download. You can actually upload a guide. Let me show you how I use that on Susan's site. Let me go to home here. So they have these really cool buyers and sellers guides. They actually have one for, selling to millennials too, which is pretty cool. So what I have on her website is I have these kind of changes out today because it's June 1st. I now have the new ones available. Every quarter they come out with a guide, and it's one for buyer's guide, one's for seller's guide, and they make it available to you, but branded by you. So when you click this, you fill out your information, and then they get the seller's guide. I downloaded my copy, and it's just awesome stuff. And this is what you have to do. You have to empower and inform, and then educate people why they need to work with you. And that's what this seller's guide kind of does. And at the end, it's going to see it's branded. It's branded by Susan. Now, I'm not saying take advantage of them. I'm just saying this is a cool tool. Go to kcmblog.com, sign up for the free trial, like you saw there. You have to put your picture in and such, so that your seller guide will be branded by you, and then download it and save it and share it with folks, and maybe put a form on your website. Say, hey, get a seller's guide. You're selling. They don't say you can't do that. Download what you want. If you don't want to continue with the trial after 14 days, just shut it off. I happen to think it's a great way because realtors, I think realtors have a lot of information that they share, but they don't know that they have that depth of information. And with these tools, these articles and such, it's a way to be able to put out content in there that that's branded to you, quickly without you. You don't have to go find an image. You don't have to go, write the articles. Yeah, I hope the agents I work with that they'll add these articles their own kind of local relevance of what that topic is, and add it and then post it, which you have the ability to be able to do. But these articles and such, let me see if I can pull it, are a great way to be able to push your expertise out there, but of course branded by you. And to me, that's what I would say sellers are looking for, even more than buyers. Buyers, they're looking for someone that's gonna bloodhound with them and help them find the property they need, and going to be a bulldog to be an advocate for them. And I'm talking dogs as buyers agents, but when it comes to a listing, a seller, what a seller's looking for is really a trust factor. They want to know that you're good at what you do, that you're going to report back to them, that you're going to be their advocate as well. But there's a big trust factor that they're not what you don't have so much as a buyer's agent. So I have these articles that come out and that I recommend for my clients, and I set them up so that the articles come into their website, and then they get syndicated out to Twitter and LinkedIn and Facebook page and all those things. And look at this. This is one that came out let's say yesterday. It's already been reached by 30 people. So it's just here's more articles on how to make your house look 10 years younger. So sharing this expertise, I think, is key. And now, is someone going to look at that and go, great article, I think I should call Susan and list my home? Okay. I don't know if that's going to happen directly, but I believe that sharing contents that build trust, that you know what you're doing, that's what people are looking for. And most of the time they are looking, we talked about local real estate expert, but maybe you're going after a listing that is in an area that you haven't sold before. Then that's when you got to show that you got systems in place. Okay, so you got to show off what you've done, have a way to be able to show your sold portfolio online as well as in print, or be able to quickly share an image or PDF. Create listing websites for all your sold properties. Okay, share your testimonials. Where can your testimonials be posted? Obviously, in Zillow, people can. Hey, I had a great experience with Susan. She did a great job. By the way, Susan has in Zillow, she has like 96 5-star ratings. I mean, she's been really good at just asking folks, hey, you don't mind going to Zillow and reviewing, putting a review for how we did. And she's been able to do that. And that goes into Zillow, and Zillow does a job, has a real person that looks at that that seller or buyer. But as that person submits that review in Zillow, they do have to create a user profile. And I've heard some agents say, I don't want to make my clients do that. Well, Susan doesn't have a problem with it. It's just part of her protocol. After the close, she asks her clients, see, if you wouldn't mind going to Zillow, it's a short thing. You'll create a username, create an account. They're not going to spam you or anything. And review, how we went, how we did. There's nothing wrong with that, and realtors just have to give her the point, like, oh, it's too much bother for them. And by the way, there's a lot of places that they can review you. Yelp is another place they can do it. They can review you in Facebook, right on your Facebook business page, and those people will see those. But it's not something you can submit. So it's not something you could submit. Something they have to submit. But I think they're very powerful. And the one thing I do with my clients is when they get those reviews, I scrape them off Zillow or wherever they are, and I put them in their website, because I do think it's important to be able to show that. By the way, did you know that you can put your testimonials connected with every single property website you create? So if I go into Susan's, I'm just going to look at all her single property websites she has, and I think she has 114. So every one of those 114 properties, whether they're active, pending, or sold, have a section in them where people, basically her testimonials are traveling with every single one of those 114 listings. So let me show you where that is. Okay. So listing marketing, and click there. And next I want to go to global settings. Okay. And in global settings, you have extra pages. So when you have a single property website, and by the way, this is one I'm creating. This is coming soon. This one will be live later today. But this is a listing I've started. You'll see these additional tabs here: testimonials, about Susan, and Facebook us. So let me click testimonials so you can see. So think of it. Wouldn't you like more people to see where you're successful? Well, you can put these testimonials in here. And look at this. She's one hell of an amazing realtor. I've had the privilege of having Susan, my personal realtor. That travels this listing that we're going to go live with here in about 4 hours. We're about 5 hours going to go live with this. I've just started it, and then it's going to be able to be shared everywhere. So, but those testimonials are powerful. So I don't care where they land in Facebook or business page or Yelp review or Zillow. You need testimonials. By the way, my own experience has found out that getting your testimonials or reviews in Zillow is the place that they will be seen by the most amount of people. But scrape them out of there. And put them inside one of your additional 3 pages you get in RealBird. Okay, so let me go RealBird again. We went to listing marketing, and then we went to global settings, and that got us here. And there's extra page 1, which is our testimonials. We also use page 2 for kind of like about Susan. People wanted more and more, want to know who they might be doing real estate business. For a while where people didn't really care. It's like, just give me what I want. But people are looking for someone to trust. Okay, page 3, I put some code in there that actually brought her whole Facebook. Her Facebook business page is pretty active. We have a lot of people following it. We have a lot of people engaging with it. And I'm able to, with a little bit of code, bring her Facebook page with some happy faces inside every one of those 114 listings. So let me show you that, because this is the code I got. If you're looking for the code, let me know. Just email me at webcoach@gmail, and I'll email you that back where you can put that in, or give me your login, your RealBird, and I'll add it. But if you have a Facebook page, hopefully you guys all have a Facebook page. They don't cost anything. You set one up in about 15 minutes. And believe me, I know not everybody's in Facebook, but most people are in Facebook, and they spend a lot of time there. So whatever your feelings about, I say this like Zillow, but I say about Zillow, but Facebook too. Whatever your feelings about, I don't do the Facebook very much. Get over that. You need to use every tool out there to help promote your services and what you do and how you're unique. That's my profound statement of the day. And this is a free tool. You do not have to pay it. Now, you're going to place some ads in there. We're going to attract some people that in the audience that Facebook knows. That's worth every penny. I mean, I'm able to generate leads for my clients for pennies on a lead. I mean, my average lead and engagement inside Facebook for the ads I do is like 23 cents. I mean, that's ridiculously cheap. If you can generate contacts and leads for 23 cents a piece. That's not bad. Now, most of it, you're going to be spending a little more than that. I've got it kind of calculated into where I can get some pretty good leads for not very much. But Facebook is a place you need to be. I mean, you're going to place the same ad in like in Google AdWords and attract buyers and sellers that way. You're going to be spending anywhere from $1 to $5 a lead. Not so in Facebook. So it's just a great place to be. So sometimes you just have to get over whatever you feel about in Facebook and leverage the hell out of it. Just like Zillow. And you might say, I know I say this all the time to my clients, they say Zillow's, exploiting me. And I said, great, exploit them back even better. That's my opinion, and that's my advice, my counsel. Okay, talking a lot today. Okay, so when you place those, I was going back. I was showing you where to do that. Okay, so one of these 3 pages, remember, we're building a presentation. Each one of these single property websites communicates to a potential seller or buyer who you are and what you do and how you market the homes. Okay, that's what it communicates. Everything you do, I'm giving an example. When you're listing a home, be vocal about it. Knock on the doors in the neighborhood. I know that sounds crazy, but there's agents that do that. They're very successful. Hey, we're going to be putting your neighbors on the market, neighbor's home on the market. Just want to let you know, my name's Susan. If you have folks that your friends and that used to be your neighbors or cousins or whatever, and you want them to know about a home that this home is for sale in the neighborhood, we just want to let you know we're here and help you out. And everything you do for that seller that the other folks in the neighborhood can see is going to communicate how you're going to market their home if they need to sell their home. Think about that. So you have to think differently than just, I'm going to list that home, stick the lawn sign in, to create a single property website, maybe put it in the MLS and share it on social media. Understand that your systems in place will communicate to other people how they will be served. I know a lot of agents have been doing like a neighborhood open house. There's a lot of people, hey, I've lived in that neighborhood, I've always wanted to see the inside of that house. Well, they tap into that and say, hey, your neighbors is putting their home on the market. We're having a special premiere open house. And we'd love to invite you, maybe just have some crackers, cheese, and wine. I don't know. But some agents in here that I work with in the Salt Lake area, I'm south of Salt Lake, but they do that. They kind of do an open house premiere, where they won't show the property until that open house, or they'll have a specific neighborhood open house and they'll announce that to everyone. And you'd be amazed how many people are going to show up in that house to take a look inside. I've always wanted to see, is it a house like mine? What do they do with their, the back bedroom? Do they make it a den or a bedroom, or do they open up that, you're in a subdivision where a lot of people have the same floor plans. They're really curious. Okay. Okay. So back to here. You want to grab this code, and then what that does is on every single one of her websites. Let me see if I can pull in here. There we go. I actually bring the Facebook page within the single property website. They don't have to go to Facebook to look at it. It's gonna pull right inside here. It's loading here. I'm a little slow because of the webinar we're doing. There we go. And they can link to it or click to it, and they can see other. This happens to be people that I know. That's why we're seeing those faces there. But they can see other articles and things like that. So great way to bring their Facebook page inside here. Probably didn't know you could do that, but you can. Okay, so the idea. Let me back up. Okay, so yeah, you need to leverage those testimonials. Testimonials are gold. Testimonials tell other people that are considering working with you what they can expect, and they're going to trust what those people say about you before they trust what you say about yourself. So use your testimonials, share your testimonials. You can share them on your website. You can share them in social media. Obviously, we showed that you can share them within an extra page on every single one of your single property websites. Okay. So, okay, here's another idea. Use a draft example of a single property listing. Show how you would share it with the world. So, let's see. Let me go to that listing here. Where we go? We were just here. Oh, you were just here. Okay. So this isn't live. This is in draft mode, but I'm able to share this. I can take a screenshot. You can tell my trusty tool. take an image out of there, right? You know, maybe this might be part of your listing presentation, or this might be able to something you share. Hey, we are not relying on just the MLS. We have our own. Okay, I'm going to speak as if I'm Susan. I have my own marketing distribution syndication network that will help me get your home sold, and that might do something that another agent might not have. And by the way, did you know you had a customized program for that? So let me go in here. I know I found it. I found it here. Basically, this is a PDF that you can generate. Why list with me? You know, why list with Susan? I'm a RealBird Pro member. I'm empowered with a comprehensive, highly effective set of online, social, mobile marketing tools for simple goal: sell your property, most amount of money in the shortest amount of time. Here's some of the things that I do. This is not everything I do. This is just some of the things that I do. So that might be a flyer that you hand out, and you can create an article around this as well. You know, just take this content and write an article and share. Hey, list with me. These are some of the tools that I use. Here's another one, and I'll show you where to get these as well. This is my listing network. You can see that these are branded to Susan. And so inside your RealBird account, you'll have that same ability to be able to generate that as well. And this is powerful. You want to blow people away. You don't want them to have any questions. Gosh, how aggressive are you going to be with my listing to get sold? No, you want to just blow them away and just say, this is what I do. I have my own listing syndication network. We're going to feature your listing as its own website that's going to travel the internet. We are not just, I mean, if you have another agent that comes in here and says, we're going to stick a sign in the lawn, sign in the lawn, hopefully not break any sprinklers or pipes, and put some flyers in the box, and we'll do an open house on Saturday. How's that look? You know, or put it in the MLS. You can do so much more. And that's what RealBird allows you to do. This is probably the thing that probably shows it the best. So, gosh, I keep reminding myself where to get that. Okay, so let me go to listing marketing here inside RealBird account. And Gabe, you might have to help me out with this. I seem to get lost here each time to grab this.
I'm sorry, what are you looking for?
Okay. We're looking for my listing network. I already downloaded this morning. I have already put it up. I just can't remember.
It's in the dash. Oh, you went there, no? The dashboard.
I'm in the dashboard. I'm in. I think it's specific to the listing, right?
No, it's what you just showed. That flyer.
I missed it. Yeah, I just want to show them where to get it. That's all.
Oh, dashboard.
Here we go. It's in each listing. It's in each listing, right? So once you log down in each listing, you'll go down here where it says, I just had it.
Okay. The flyer that you showed is in the dashboard, not in
dashboard. Okay, there we go. Okay. The first, see, I'm so much into listing marketing. Thanks, Gabe. I appreciate that. Okay, here we go. Yes, there we go. There are kind of like the general options here. Okay, here I'm a RealBird Pro, or if your team, we're a RealBird Pro, and this is my listing syndication network or our listing syndication network. So that's powerful, and that should be part of your listing presentation. You know, and like I said, you don't have to. It's not like you're trying to calm their fears, but you're trying to be aggressive and say, I have systems in place, and here are my systems. We're just relying on the MLS, the lawn sign, the flyer box that gets emptied. And by the way, we have a solution for empty flyer boxes, and that's basically with every one of your single property websites, as a flyer is included with it that you can send to folks. So let me see, pull that up. Okay, gosh, I've been moving around a lot today, so okay. So we have a listing flyer. Here we go. Gosh, Gabe, I'm getting lost a bit today. I apologize for that. There we go. Create print flyer. There we go. So this is a print flyer, very simple, very easy. Even has a QR code in that that people can find this home, and you can actually print that out. Click print up here, print. It prints as a PDF, and then you can save that link and you can send that to folks.
If you go to a flyer with several pictures, then it has up to 4 pictures, and also this is available in every flyer. So if somebody goes directly to the property website, the print flyer is in there, so they can just print it out for themselves.
And each listing, these listings, you're looking at over my shoulder at this presentation here today. I'm on a 32-inch monitor because I build websites and do marketing, and I need the space to. I actually have 3 monitors. But the idea is this listing, no matter what device they view it on, mobile phone, iPhone 4, iPad, this listing is going to look great. Now I put an image in the background just to decorate it and just up a little bit, just move, kind of decorate it a little bit. But in a big screen, I see a lot on either side. On a mobile phone, you're going to see less of that. You might only see the listing, but the idea is this listing is going to be optimized so that anybody can see it on any device they are. And by the way, in any language they want. They click on click German in here. This is a listing in German. It's going to translate that for folks so that they can see it in their language. In 10 different languages. How cool that! By the way, on every one of the listings, they're also going to see your other listings. Your other actor, it's going to be tied to your existing active listings, but it's also going to be tied that you can set up your blog posts. Remember, I shared with you that Susan's pretty prolific in creating articles and that are consumer facing for real estate. And I've tied her blog. You can do that. You can do that right inside the profile in your member area, and you go down here and you can add your blog URL and a link to that, and it'll actually you can actually pull in articles, but connected to the single property website that they're looking at. That's powerful to be able to do that. That kind of integration is something that RealBird is really good with. So let me pull up this listing. Let's pull up another listing here. So show that with you. Okay. By the way, any questions? Maybe I've been really good about answering the questions. I haven't heard much if people are getting their questions answered. Okay, so at the bottom of each of the listings, obviously you're going to see the gallery of photos. If you create a video, which I hope you do, I hope you will embed your videos in your single property websites. They're very powerful. Even if maybe you upload them to YouTube and then you grab the code and you can paste them into your single property website. What it's also going to share, and obviously your different places that you're at with your profile, all your contact information, your latest blog posts, and your other active listings. And then Susan has a really cool tool that she's instigated. There's an add-on tool to RealBird called SMS texting. So yeah, there's a glider port she has for sale. How cool is that? A glider port in Pennsylvania. Okay. So now there's not a large cost to this. I mean, it's literally any of my clients that have set it up, I've set it up for them at less than like $3 a month. I mean, it's pennies a lead that you're actually paying for the service. You do pay $1 to rent a local number that people can text to. Now, sure, her number is 814-280-0365. So I was able to rent a localized number. It's because you don't want people texting out of the area. They're going to think they're giving their information to someone in Mozambique or something. But so I set this up for her. So now every listing she gets, we set up a custom SMS text coding. Basically, get them all the information we're sharing with you about a listing, and getting that to the seller in a way that they'll be less likely to not reject it, but basically make it easier for them so not feel like they're giving you everything. They are giving you their cell phone, by the way, when they text this number, and we customize the custom SMS code to be glider. It's a glider port. So if you text glider that number, you will get that single property website on your phone, and of course she'll get you as a lead. That's the best thing. And this SMS, once it's set up, doesn't just have to be connected to a listing. For example, this is her home valuation page that she wants to track sellers with. If you text PA Homesworth, Pennsylvania Homesworth, so PA Homesworth, we're using this SMS system that I set up inside her, with Twilio inside a RealBird account. If you text this, hey, so we place ads in like Facebook, what would your Pennsylvania home sell for? What would your state college home sell for? Text PA Homesworth to that phone number, that 814 number, and we take them to here. So basically, here's a tool that can be used not just with RealBird, but with your other tools that you might be marketing with and your other systems. So this is a tool where it recognizes any address and it can start the process. So I would become a lead for a potential seller that wants to find out what their home is worth. And the only thing that had to do with RealBird is we set it up as an add-on to RealBird. Here's another one. Remember I told you about, I showed you before. It's like, hey, you want to see how successful we've been in listing homes here in State College? Text sold homes to this number, and it goes to that page that I shared with you guys that has here's what we sold in the State College area. So these are all different ways to communicate to potential sellers what you do. What are your skills? What is your ability to be able to sell their home? All these tools I'm sharing with you here today. Okay, and you should be using them. These are not tools that are hard to set up or that cost a lot of money. It's not about that, but it is about focus. Say, you know what, I want to do that. I'll set up the time to do that. We have tutorials built right inside RealBird. You can click on the tutorials, and then they'll show you how to, step by step, how to set up tools like that, like the SMS. If you need some help, I'm happy to help as well. You can email me as well, call me, and I'll be happy to help out. Every one of these building blocks is a way to build your confidence that you can go out there and okay, maybe you're not part of a like Remax or Coldwell Bank, or you're maybe your own brokerage or a smaller brokerage. Because I get that all the time, that a lot of agents think that their brand of their, the moniker for their brokerage is who they are. And I tell them, no, this is your database. I mean, there's a reason these big corporate real estate companies give you tools branded big with their name and a little bit with your name, is because they realize that people don't really trust big brands anymore. They want someone to trust, an individual that can meet their needs and help them walk them through the process of buying and selling a home. So I do this type of coaching all the time. I call it my real estate esteem coaching, because a lot of times real estate agents, can beat themselves up. Okay, I'm going for this listing for 1.2, and I know there's a there's a Remax agent trying to get in there, and there's maybe someone from the local luxury market boutique or whatever, and there's like, gosh, what do I have to show them? What do I, okay, well, these are the things that I'm sharing with you today. Is you need to have confidence, know that you have these systems in place to go in there and say, hey, I'm going to do a better job than anybody. It's not the name. It's, anyway. So, but build up your self-esteem. Real estate agents, you guys get beat up all the time. And sometimes you got to build up your own self-esteem. If you need me to do that for it, I'm happy to give me a call. I'll be happy to, to build you up. But putting systems in place, that's also builds confidence, and also learning what you're doing here today on this RealBird webinar. You're learning. You're advancing your skills. You're implementing more of the tools that you've already bought. Gosh, I've worked with so many agents and found out they bought so many tools that they're not implementing. Congratulations for being here and doing that. That's what we're talking about today. Okay, I talked about this. Share the Seller's Guide. That place is KCM blog. And I don't care if you have to go sign up for the trial, take advantage of the tools they have for like the Seller's Guide. They also have a Buyer's Guide that's pretty cool too. And it puts your picture in there and contact information so that you can download it. And even if you shut it off in 2 weeks, you got a great Seller's Guide for the next quarter, because they do them every quarter. They have a new one come out every season, like winter, spring, fall, summer. So even if you do that for the trial, let's put right here, 14-day trial. You can still download it. It's not going to be watermarked on that. Hey, this is in trial mode, so you can't give it to anybody. It's going to be branded by you. And people really need the steps to sell. To me, that shows your expertise. I know a lot of agents that I work with. They have an add-on service for staging and prepping your home to sell. Well, they'll include that in the package that they do. There's some agents out there that have different services based on 7%, sell for 7%, sell for 6%, sell for 5%, based on the added services that they provide. And some of them are very successful at doing that by adding additional services, and you give them a smorgasbord or a la carte, and letting the seller decide, hey, this is what I will do. You pick what level you want to get involved with. when we talked a little bit about placing Facebook ads, and I grabbed a screenshot and shared that image with you, that you can create. To place an ad in Facebook, you can target people in a geographical area. You can target them. There's one demographic in there because what you do is when you create an ad or you place an ad in Facebook, and I'm not just talking just boosting. I know you can do that when you just boost an ad or article that's already connected to you. But I'm talking about creating a custom ad. It's not hard to do. There's plenty of videos that can show you to do that. There's plenty of folks that'll show you how to do that. But you can create an ad and you can pick an audience. Like I said, either you can actually do geographically, and then also do one of the demographics in there is likely to move. See, Facebook's know what that members of that different target audience that you might want to attract. They know what they've been doing. They know their habits of what they've been looking at, so they can tell when someone's likely to move. And when someone's looking to order, moving boxes or moving across town or U-Haul or whatever. But they know, and you can add that demographic and that custom audience that you want to target. Hey, I want to put my ad in front of people that are likely to move, not people that just moved in. If I'm looking to help them sell their home, they're not going to move again. So anyway, and you don't have to spend a lot of money. You can place ads and get engagement for as little as click-throughs, where people are looking at what you have to offer. You can get that as little as like 15, 20, 30 cents, 40 cents a piece. Now, if you're doing what's my home worth, I've had a lot of agents that do that. That tends to be a little more expensive. Those ads where you're promoting that. And of course, there's different types of ads that you can put. There's slideshow ads. There's carousel ads. There's landing pages. That's where people are pitched, your image and graphic with the desire to have them, fill in their information. Sorry about that. Fill in their information to get information about like what their home's worth. And those leads tend to be more like $1, can be up to $1.50. But that's about it. I mean, you can do pretty well. I've seen some people pay. If you don't do it right, and set up your target market correctly and what the response you want. I mean, you can pay easily $5 to $10 a lead, but you don't have to pay that much. There's a way to do it, and maybe we can do that. We can have we've had some requests to have people show us how to leverage Facebook and using the RealBird tools. We'll be doing another webinar on that shortly, so that we want to have you come back and watch that. Okay, and build a listing presentation. Hopefully everything I shared, you've shared a lot of graphics, a lot of things. You're seeing a lot of things, and all these things can be made into a visual listing presentation to basically convince someone that you're the person they should list their home with. I think it's important to have this, whether you have it on your website. I've seen some agents do that. Hey, here's all the things that we will do, or the things that we may do. And also, I believe you could share local real estate market reports as part of your blog and your articles you create. I think that's important because that communicates that you know the market. That you know the real estate market, because I think that's another distinguishing factor that sellers are looking for. They want to know someone that knows the market, that's going to help them price it, the home right, and is going to get the home sold quickly. So anything you can share your expertise. I'm always amazed when I talk with a real estate agent and I ask them, you need to be sharing this knowledge. You need to be sharing this. You need to be blogging, or you need to be sharing this publicly, this knowledge that you have. You've been in real estate. You really know your stuff. And you might share that, and they say, well, I answer my clients' questions, and I'm like, I'm like, okay. So if I asked you questions, you'd be able to answer any of these questions, and I'd see that you're an expert. But when it's a private conversation, or you're answering a question from a specific client in an email or a text or whatever, hey, what are the schools like in this area? Is this a good place to move up to for my smaller home? That expertise is inside you, but if all you do is share it with one person one-on-one, that's a private conversation. Sharing your expertise, pulling it out of you, creating it in an article or blog post that you share to the world, that tells people that there's probably somebody else that wants to know that information. So dig down into your real estate brain trust, okay, and be willing to pull it out and share. And you probably say, well, maybe people don't want to know that, but they do. And that always amazes me when I have an agent that says, I don't want to blog, I don't want to share, and I don't want to write an article. I'm like, I said, you're already doing that. You're already blogging. You're already sharing, but you're doing one-on-one in private conversation, and Google doesn't see it to share it with the rest of the world. So that's my little pitch on why I think you should always be blogging, always should be sharing your expertise everywhere. Okay, our time's come to a close. I hope I have a checklist here, and I didn't have chance to get through the whole checklist to make sure you're using RealBird to the most to help you do that. And I'm happy to share it with everybody. I'm just going to give you my email right there, webcoach@gmail.com. My name's Eric. Email me, and I will send you the notes that I think you need as a potential seller's agent using these tools, because I think it's real important. We want that confidence. I want you to bring your brain trust, your expertise into that conversation when someone's looking to hire you as a seller's agent. I want you to be confident in that. So Gabe, thanks for. Are there any questions that didn't get answered on our webinar here today?
I don't think so. I think there weren't that many questions. I gave some suggestions online. The only thing I just wanted to mention that if you guys don't have a RealBird Pro account, then if you sign up, you get a 30-day money-back guarantee, which is a little bit like a trial. We don't do trials at this point because we had a lot of fraud and people were taking advantage of it. So we require that somebody pays up just to see that they're real. But there's a 30-day money-back guarantee, so your risk is zero anyways. And sign up and try it out and see how it works for you.
Awesome. I love RealBird. I've been training here for over 10 years, and it's an awesome tool. Doing this, helping agents market themselves for 20 years this year for me. I've seen a lot of tools come and go, and the RealBird tool is continually evolving, improving, adding more advanced applications so that you can be successful. RealBird's really all about you, to help you as a real estate agent be more successful and help you be able to sell your properties and to attract buyers as well. So take advantage of it. Thanks for coming, everybody, today. It was great sharing with you today. I hope you learned something. I learned something. I learned where to get that network report that I keep forgetting where to find, but it's there. And the tools are deep. Take advantage of it. Don't let it overwhelm you. Start where you can. But I've given you some tips today. Email me. I'll give you the list of the step one by one, and I'll be happy to email that out to you and get that to you. Thanks everybody for coming to the webinar. Have a great weekend.
Have a great weekend.
Thank you.
And if you want to review this recording, there is our channel, or you can just Google for it, and you can find it, or email me, and I'll send it to you. We put all the webinars there automatically. It will be available. This one will be available this afternoon. Have a good day and a weekend.
Great. Thanks, everybody. Thanks, Gabe. Hope you feel cold gets better.